Yes guys, I don't always dress up, but when I do, it's when I review a vehicle like this, the all-new 2021 Cadillac Escalade. In this video, I'm gonna show you every feature it comes with. This one is fully loaded. And at the end of the video, I'm also gonna show you how it compares against its brothers and sisters. I'm talking about the Chevy Tahoe and the GMC Yukon. So let's dig in. Of course, the Escalade is at the very top of General Motors SUV echelon. As such, it has to be very unique and special, and it is. So let's do a quick walk around to see what's what. First of all, you can see the gigantic grille and of course the giant Cadillac crest. But if you can look at the lights and kind of the LED signature here in the front, it doesn't look too trucky, and that's on purpose because Cadillac designers actually drew inspiration from the Escalade concept sedan that was shown a couple years ago to actually create the Cadillac. So it was more horizontal headlights, big grille, and very bold appearance. Let's look on the side. Of course, this is the Cadillac, so you gotta be rolling on 22s, as this premium luxury model is doing. And of course, it's now bigger than ever before because it shares some of its chassis and platform with the new 21 Chevy Tahoe and of course the Yukon. And I'll give you all the breakdowns on pricing, capability a little bit later in the video, how it compares against those vehicles. But let's keep walking a little bit further. In the rear, of course, those giant vertical LED lamps, which has been a signature of the Cadillac Escalade for some years now. But there's something very special. If you can look, there's no door tailgate handle here, and that's on purpose. Check this out. Oh yeah, that's a cool pottery trick, I think. You push the crest and the tailgate opens. There's actually 3 different ways of opening your tailgate. Let me show you. Of course, you can use the key fob to close and open the tailgate. That's pretty standard stuff these days. Because it's a GM SUV, you could also open the rear glass separately. You do have to come up to the vehicle to actually gently open it yourself and close it. But also you can use your foot. You can kick underneath the bumper to open the tailgate also. But wait, there is more. Of course, there's a button right here on the tailgate to close it with a button. This is an all-new generation of the Escalade. As such, it's drastically different from the Escalade. It replaces brand new chassis, still based on a truck, but independent rear suspension, longer wheelbase, a lot more space for the cargo and people. And check this out, this is very unique to the GM SUV. Yes, it has this kind of touch button on the handle, but to close the door, it has soft closed doors. Yeah, I've been kind of saving this for you guys, but actually the interior is the most special part, in my opinion, of the new Escalade, because it's totally unique just for the 2021 Escalade. And it's also a part of this renaissance that we are currently in. And by that I mean very big, luxurious American interiors. Let me show you. Push button start, of course, it's nothing special, but what everybody does not have is this. Organic LED, OLED, 38 inches from side to side of digital screen real estate. Very high resolution. Cadillac says the pixel density on these screens are about twice of a current 4K television screen. And yes, you can do a lot. This section right here is 17 inches in diagonal. And of course you can go through a lot of functions. It's a touch screen. You could also control the system using this knob. And of course there's also voice control. In the center, this is a 14-inch diagonal screen. And right here I'm currently in a augmented reality mode for the front camera. And I don't know if you can tell, but you could see the mountains, details, cars, everything. But the augmented reality part of it is actually when you're in navigation mode, it will actually show you by placing little symbols as you're driving in real time. Finally, on the very left hand side of the screen, it's another 7-inch digital display with some extra data. Trip meter, settings for the gauge cluster, so you can actually select the map mode or go back to a regular gauge with speedometer and tachometer. Of course, there's also a wireless phone charger. It's this vertical unit, so it's not a horizontal one, but your phone, no matter if it's in the case or not, is able to just hang here. And of course you can pair it. You can do Alexa, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that stuff is available. This Caddy does have adaptive cruise control system and lane keep system, but it does not have two features that I think are very, very cool. First, night vision camera. This model I have right here does not have that. And also Cadillac Super Cruise, which is more autonomous way of driving, but just in a controlled environment like a highway with the driver still paying attention. That system is coming a little bit later, but it will join the Cadillac Escalade lineup. The Escalade has GM's rear camera mirror. Obviously you can flip it, and you've seen this before on GMC trucks, Yukons as well. You can control brightness, you can control zoom in and out, and of course you can look higher or lower. All that stuff is still available. Then there's of course this kind of a three-dimensional view, and you may have seen this on some other manufacturer vehicles, like BMW has a similar feature, but I just love this. It's really cool. Of course, the new Escalade competes against the likes of the Lincoln Navigator. Of course, there's also Mercedes, BMW, Audi, the German large SUVs, but I think it's more directed against the Navigator for the towing capacity, its size, its American style, and of course there's also an upcoming Jeep Grand Wagoneer. But what those vehicles don't have is the new AKG stereo audio system that this Escalade has. 36 speakers. The upgrade for the 36 speaker system is about $4,300, but you're actually getting a lot of value for that money. Of course, you can have speakers right here inside of your headrests. They're everywhere. They're actually in the ceiling. Almost this entire dash panel is also covered for many, many speakers. There's also speakers on the A-pillars, in the rear, in the ceiling. Every door has a speaker, and even in the cargo area. But also there is a passenger communication where if I have clients, people I'm driving around, or kids, I can actually use the voice enhancement feature to actually talk to all the passengers in my vehicle. Kids, don't make me turn this Escalade around. And because this is using a new chassis, independent rear suspension, the floor is actually a little bit lower, and as such you get a lower load floor for your cargo area. You get more space in your cargo area because it's longer. It's again more space compared to the outgoing model. You have ways to fold your third and second row right here. The second row right here is of course captain chairs. There is no other way in a premium SUV rather than captains. But also there's a new infotainment screen system, very similar to the one available in the high country Chevy SUVs, and of course the Yukon Denali's. So if you are a CEO of a company and you're being chauffeured in your Escalade as you would, so you could say, all right, I gotta get my money, I gotta select a bank and the driver can accept or ignore. Of course, if the driver ignores you, you can always fire him. And you can watch YouTube. For example, right now I'm watching Roman and Tommy at the debut of the 2021 Escalade. And let's say I want to share it with you. You're sitting next to me. I click share and check it out. Now you also can enjoy Roman and Tommy. The rear console right here is also unique. You've got controls for your heated seats or your climate settings. You also have this pull-out drawer for your cup holders. A panoramic sunroof is also available, and you gotta have it in your Escalade. As you may know, I'm about 6'2", and so let me try to sit behind this second row seat, which is fully actually pushed back. I can fit behind myself. I have headroom, very low actually knee room, but if this seat was moved up just a hair, this would be a great place to spend a little bit of time. There's a new trend, and Cadillac is on board. They're putting their power output numbers on the trunk lids and tailgates of their new vehicles. 600 right here means basically a torque rating in Newton meters, not pound-feet of torque or foot-pounds. But if you look under the hood, the 6.2 liter V8 that's under there produces 623.7 Newton meters of torque, but I guess that would just be too confusing. So 600 is the way to go. If you were to go out right now and purchase an Escalade for 2021, you will have this one powertrain available. A 6.2 liter V8 that was actually there before, and it has 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a 10-speed. In a couple months, the Escalade will also be available with a 3-liter straight-six turbo diesel with a 10-speed automatic. But for now, this is the only premium powertrain that Cadillac is offering under the hood. And I think I've made you wait long enough, because you're now wondering, how does this compare against the Tahoe and the Yukons? And how do you know which one to choose? Well, let's go over it. So if you want a Tahoe for 2021, it ranges in price between about $50,000 to about $80,000. The 80 grand is a four-wheel drive high country. If you want the GMC style and features, that Yukon starts between about $50,000 and $85,000 for the Denali Ultimate model. The 2021 Escalade starts at right around $77,000 and goes up to about $104,000. So this one is the one that crosses that six-figure price tag, and this one right here, this premium luxury model, retails or sticker price is $102,310. And here's another thing. The Escalade, yes, it offers this 6.2 liter engine, but it's the same as the previous model, so they didn't actually update the powertrains. They actually are not offering the 5.3 liter V8. So if you want a little bit more efficiency, you would have to choose either the Tahoe or the Yukon, because those still offer that choice. But this engine gets 14 mpg city, 19 highway, which is for a big luxury SUV is not too bad. If you compare the Tahoe, Yukon, and the Escalade, they basically have the same suspension choices. So let's go over it pretty quickly. So the base Escalade also has coil suspension with regular shocks. Then you can step up to their magnetic ride or MagneRide system. It's the latest version 4.0, and it basically can adjust how stiff the shock is in milliseconds. They say if you're traveling at 60 miles an hour, it can make adjustments for every 1 inch of travel. So that's a very sophisticated system. And then of course you have this. At the top end, you have 4-corner air suspension on top of the magnetic ride suspension, which also allows you several different heights, from entry level to all the way to off-road heights. Speaking of off-road, there is no unique Escalade model specific for off-roading. The Tahoe offers the Z71. We've tested it off-road. Nathan and Tommy did. GMC has the 84, the brand new model for the Yukon. Nathan and I tested that. The Escalade has the same suspension system, but no like aggressive tire package. This panel on the left side of the driver is unique to the Escalade. Here you have a few things. You have your four-wheel drive system control, not a knob, but buttons. You have automatic all-wheel drive. You have rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive high. This particular model I'm sitting in right now does not have 4-low, but 4-low is available. Because we don't have 4-low, there are 3 different height settings the driver can select. If this did have that, there would be a 4th off-road mode as well. And here are your suspension controls for the air suspension. This does include, and I'm so happy it does, an integrated brake controller, because it does have a towing package. Usually luxury SUVs don't offer this, but Escalade does. And here's how payload and towing stack up. Not only does it have a 7-pin connector for your trailer, which is pretty normal, it also has your additional trailer mounted camera system. This is still a truck, it's based on a truck platform, so it should be able to tow trailers and haul heavy weights, right? Well, yes, it does, but here's the funny thing. When you're comparing Tahoe, Yukon, or Escalade, the more luxurious the truck becomes, actually the less capable in terms of weight, payload, and towing. So here's some of the numbers. If you want maximum payload, go for the base 2-wheel drive Tahoe with a 5.3. You get about 1,834 pounds of payload, people and cargo you can put in the vehicle. Then the Yukon has a little bit less payload, about 1,700 pounds max. This Escalade I'm sitting in now, about 1,540 pounds of payload, which is actually still great for a 4-wheel drive luxe machine like this. Towing, it's a similar story. If you want to tow the most, pick a Tahoe or Yukon at about 8,400 pounds. And this model right here is just about 7,500 pounds of maximum towing. So these are not ultimate towing machines, but they can tow. Oh yeah, and there's one more cool design feature. You see that Cadillac emblem right there on the dash? It can light up at night to say hello or goodbye. And I am saying goodbye, but guys, if you want more driving reviews, they're coming very soon. We're gonna put this Escalade on the highway, maybe even take it off-road. So stay tuned for that, and go back to tfltruck.com for all the latest news, views, and real-world truck reviews.